I just wanted to put a trigger warning in front of the podcast so that you know that there are some sensitive topics. This is not for children. Not that this podcast is for children.
Never is. It's never for children.
Not that this podcast is ever for children, but I just did want to put a trigger warning. There are talks of sexual assault. If that is going to trigger you, then I feel like you should just go ahead and listen to another podcast. Maybe week 3 or skip this one.
Yeah.
So that's it. You've been warned. Hola, everybody. Welcome to No Facts with Jen, episode 2.
Dose.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am here with Christina.
I'm Christina with I'm Motherfucking Awesome Yo.
Yes.
Back again. We had so much fun last time. I'm super excited.
We had so much fun that we had to do it again. And you'll probably see a lot more of her because she's fun to talk to. And she's got great... Don't mind that in the background. It's just her cats running around, so don't mind that. Anyway, how are you doing? How have you been?
I'm pretty good. It's been one of those weeks where I don't want to do anything.
Oh, girl, I feel you.
Like, I feel like I just need to sloth across the floor like an inchworm to get anywhere.
Oh, gosh.
Or maybe roll.
Just roll.
Remember when kids were little? Kids were little, they would just roll everywhere?
Yep.
That's kind of how I feel.
Girl, same. It's definitely been a roll around week.
Yeah, check astrology and see what's going on.
So, the first thing I wanted to talk about was weird because it was out of nowhere. One of my friends on my Snapchat ended up being like, once again, ignore the cats. So he just randomly messaged me on Snapchat and said, "What do you do about regret?" And I was like, "What do you mean, what do I do about regret? Regret? What do you regret?" And he was like, "Well, I chose somebody over someone else." We'll call him, we'll give my friend a name. What's his name? Dave. We'll give him a name, Dave. So Dave asked me this, and he said, I guess he chose the wrong person over someone else, and he wanted to know how he would deal with the regret. And I thought it would be something really good to talk about on the show. So what do you think? Because, I wasn't expecting anybody to ask for advice that quickly, but, here we are. So what do you do about regret, especially when it comes, I guess, to relationships where you feel like, I guess you chose the wrong person?
So I hate to sound so cliche or like I'm lying, but I don't have a lot of regrets because I feel like you only regret the things you don't do. But I know some people regret when they make a decision. So you're doing something. I think it goes back to looking at why you made that decision. Maybe you just need a reminder of that, because sometimes there'll be some decisions that I've made that I'll be like, oh, why did I do that? And maybe that's like low level regret, but I don't have any like crazy regret. And then I have to be like, okay, but why did I make that decision? So I think that's really how you deal with regret, though. I think you have to look at why you made the decision at the time that you made it. And sometimes we make decisions and then we find out different information, and that's why we regret it. But you have to think about it. You didn't have that information at the time.
Right.
And then what can you do to fix it? Like, okay, that's the other thing.
Well, that's what I asked him. I was like, okay, so usually when I regret something, I'll try to fix it. And then he was like, well, what if it can't be fixed? I was like, well, if it can't be fixed, the only thing you can do is sit back and reflect on why you made those decisions.
What can't be fixed?
I guess what can't be fixed is that
I feel like we need to videotape them right now instead of doing this, so we can do like an Aussie man video, and like they are going nuts over there.
But I guess he can't change. I don't know if he can't change, because he did not give me more information, because I was asking for it. I was like, what are you talking about? So I just gave him the best information that I could. But
is the other person dead?
I don't think they're dead, but I think I think maybe they're married, or maybe it's a situation where he can't. You know what I'm saying? Like there is
I think what's causing his regret is more of the unknown and being passive about it and not doing something about it. So I am not like, I'm probably going to get beat up for saying this, but when I was married to my first husband, y'all have been married a lot. My future second husband at the time actually called me like 3 or 4 times during that. Though I was married to my first husband twice, and like maybe just call. And I didn't leave my first husband for him. Like it just went down the road, but. You know, he's like, hey, you know, I miss you and I got your number from your aunt. And I'm like, my aunt. And then I'm like, dude, I'm married and I'm pregnant. And he's like, oh, but I miss you. And I'm like, oh, sucks to be you. But at least like he did something about it. I think that's where a lot of regret comes from too, is what are you doing about it?
All right.
Or maybe, I don't know. I really think you have to reflect on.
It's a good idea though to go after somebody that's
I didn't say go after them. That is not what I said.
Okay, so because I guess you can only disturb a relationship that's, you know, not solid. Because
once again, what did I say to him? I'm married and I have children. Like, I'm pregnant. So I'm not saying call her up and be like, you need to leave your husband. Just be like, hey, I was thinking about you and I really regret some things that I've done. Like, can we talk? Can we have coffee?
Okay, so friend, I gotta be honest with you.
I know.
I think it's about me.
What?
I swear. Okay, let me tell you why.
This is your friend. You didn't say this was somebody else.
Okay, let me tell you why I think it's about me. First of all, it was so random. I have not talked to him in forever. And it was, okay, so that picture that I posted on Facebook from our outing on Friday.
Oh, with my little...
With she put a little peace sign in my...
With my,
in my
awesome
picture. And... everybody, you know, a lot of people like the picture or whatever, and I put that picture on Snapchat, and he responded to that picture. He didn't, like, write me, like, personally. He wrote to the picture, what do you do when you regret something? And then he would not give me more information.
Oh, he's just being a passive coward. See, I don't like that. I don't like this passive stuff. Like, if I'm what you're regretting, just say it. Honestly,
that's what I think it is. Okay, because the last time we talked, he was literally talking about like how much he liked me and stuff, and how much, because we had like a little moment. This was well before I was ever with my boyfriend now. Well before. And I think he's cute. I think he's a great person. But like, obviously, I'm in a committed relationship. But at the same time, like, if you're regretting something, then you need to be honest with me. Don't be like doing that secretive.
I'm so
shit.
Sick of passive bitches.
Because
like that's what's wrong.
Like, well, I'm talking about you or something.
Or DM you. Don't be putting that shit out on Facebook.
He didn't put it on Facebook. He put it on Snapchat.
Oh, Snapchat.
So
okay.
Nobody else saw it but me. And then he had this like whole conversation on Snapchat about girls and like being in relationships that aren't good for them and stuff. And I was just like, oh Lord, like I honestly like just have this intuition that that's what it was about. It was about me, but
why don't you just put on there, stop being a bitch?
Because it ain't my job to tell him to stop being a bitch. He just need to stop being a bitch.
I don't like. I really don't understand. And then here's the other thing though. People are like, how can you just put yourself out there? Like, you know how many times I have told somebody that I want to be with them and not had to fill it out, and I'm like, look, I have told people that I love them and not got I love you in return, and I see nothing wrong with it. Like, I can love you. You ain't got to love me back.
Honestly, that's what happened when I first got with Elwood. Like a month in, I was like, I love you.
Well, you know, my situation is somebody that I dated, and then like it's been this weird off and on thing, and I still tell the person I love them.
Right.
You know, and we're not nowhere near together, but I love them, and that's just the way it is. You know, I don't know what this, man, our society's fucked up right now.
It was just a hot mess. I was like, I don't know what to tell you, but if you need some, I was like, well, if you ever want to call, I gave him my number. I was like, you still have my number, but I straight up told him, I was like, I didn't tell him, but I was like, okay, I don't know how to help you, friend.
Yeah, not only that, like if he was to call you and it's about you, be like, I can't help you with your problem with me.
I can't.
I had to tell my ex-husband that my last divorce, like I love him dearly. I do. I love my last ex dearly. I love his family, like everything. And he was hurting so bad. I was hurting going through our divorce. And I'm like, dude, I can't help you. I'm the one that broke your heart. Like, you broke my heart, I broke your heart. We can't help each other. Go to therapy. Find a friend.
Girl, I don't know. I didn't know what to do
You
about
only regret the things you don't do. That's why I've been married 4 times.
I've never been
No
married.
regrets.
Regrets. No regrets.
No regrets. I think is it regrets too sometimes? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Regrets.
Regrets.
Okay, so other than that, okay, so this is so weird. I found this article. It was like this news that I completely missed from like 3 years ago. And I don't know if you heard about it. It's the situation isn't funny, but what the police claimed happened to me was hilarious because it was so not feasible. Okay, so the headline is a black man accused French police of raping him. Police claim it was an accident.
How do you
This was in the Washington Post. This is
How
not
do you
like
accidentally put your dick in somebody?
No. You have to hear the story, okay? You got to hear the story. Because I was like,
Oops, it
what?
just fell in. Are we in like middle school?
They accidentally. It was an accident. You know how you accidentally slip and fall on a dick? Like,
I'm just like,
you know, like that.
like
that.
like when you're like, making out with a dude and like he pulls his dick out and he accidentally puts it in you.
Yeah,
Okay, whatever.
like that. By the time Theo arrived at a French emergency room on February 2nd, he was covered in blood. Doctors discovered that his primary injury had been caused by a police truncheon. I don't know what that is because I think they're in France. One that had been forced inside the man's rectum during a violent encounter with multiple officers in Aulnay-sous-Bois, a suburb north of Paris. Theo, a 22-year-old French youth worker whose last name has not been released, maintained that the injury, which required major surgery to repair, was inflicted intentionally and that he was the victim of a horrific sexual assault. More than a week later, after protests have roiled residents where the incident occurred, French investigators have reached an entirely different conclusion. The violent sodomy was accidental and occurred when the officer's expanded baton happened to slip into the victim's anus. While noting that the violent encounter was very serious, the investigation by France's National Police Force determined that the incident was not a rape because of the unintentional character of the penetration. Despite those conclusions, French Interior Minister Bruno Leroy announced Sunday that one officer faces aggravated rape charges and 3 others have been charged with aggravated assault. The men deny the charges and have been suspended from the police force, the paper reported. Theo maintains that the incident began after he witnessed an officer slap someone and approached a group of officers, according to the Huffington Post. He claimed that the group took him around a corner and attacked. I didn't try to run away. I told the officers, "You've torn my bag." To which he replied that they didn't give a damn, he said. Huffington Post reported. They all tried to grab me. I asked them why they were doing this, but they just continued throwing insults at me. He told me to put my hands behind my back. They put handcuffs on me and then they told me to sit down, he added. They sprayed tear gas in my face and then I had a pain in my buttocks. My trousers were lowered. I was in serious pain. During the violent encounter, Theo said officers spit on him, called him such names such as Negro and bitch. Police claimed that during the interaction, Theo's pants slipped down on their own. I'll continue. A police source told the local that video taken at the scene and being reviewed by investigators shows a policeman applying a truncheon blow horizontally across the buttocks. On Tuesday, Theo was visited by French President Francois Hollande, who tweeted...
So is that like a baton, I guess?
Yes. Who tweeted that Theo reacted with dignity and responsibility. So I'm not going to read the rest. If y'all want to see the rest of that, look it up on the Washington Post.
So...
They accidentally raped him with a baton.
Well, like I'm trying to figure, like when you use a baton, you go sideways with it, so it couldn't even be accidental.
Like, how do you like shove.
I'm even if it was accidental, like how you use a baton is not this way. It's you beat people with it this way. So there's no way that it was accidental.
And then on top of that, this man needed major surgery afterwards. I don't think that's
well, I mean, if I sat on a fucking baton, I'd probably need major surgery too.
The fact that they were like, it's an accident. Like, how? How is that an accident?
And here's my other thing. Like, if I accidentally kill somebody, I can still go to jail for, like, manslaughter. Exactly. How is this not, like, something? Even if it is accidental. Like, you still fucked up doing your job.
Right. But then they said his pants slipped down. Like, how
no, I don't know.
Happened. Like, that's my
I don't know. The amount of people that wear their fucking pants down to their fucking knees, like, I could see potentially that part happening. Maybe they slipped down because, like, they sprayed his face and he, like, bent over and they slipped down. But
I think
still,
he was already cuffed and stuff.
I know.
How?
So if I was to get tear gas in my face and I was cuffed sitting on the ground, I would probably fall forward and my ass would go up in the air. So if I had my pants down to my fucking knees, my ass would go in the air. However, I'm assuming this person's not rolling commando. And once again, you don't use a baton like a freaking dildo. Like, that's not how you use it. So if you don't know how to properly use your equipment, that's still a freaking problem, and you should still get in trouble for not behaving properly. Like, whether they call it rape or not, like, you're wrong. Right. Do something about it. I'm so sick of this shit. You know, in the military, if we were to fuck up like that, like, we would get court-martialed.
Oh, don't talk about the military right now because there's some stuff I wanted to talk to you. Actually, I feel like I want to talk about it now.
Did you see that meme where they showed the Marine grunt with like the chew in his mouth and he's out in the Marine grunt, right? If the Marines or military members, they shoot their weapons and stuff, there's an investigation all the time. And even if you were in the right and you hit the wrong fucking person, you can go to jail for that shit. We are held accountable. And then that's what this means. Well, more so than the cops, apparently. So, and then they were comparing it to police officers, and this is another case of that shit. If I was to accidentally stick my fucking vibrator up somebody's ass, I would get in trouble for assault.
And it's just the fact that they keep saying it's an accident. We know damn well that's not an accident.
That's like when little kids are like, I shit my pants accidentally.
It was
I accidentally ate those snacks.
I know, like.
It's a snackcident.
Or they're like, oh, I didn't do it, somebody else did it. And they're the only other person in the house, like. You know what's
How old are we? Are we 5?
I accidentally, like, I don't know why. I saw that and I was like, we need to talk about this because this is the most ridiculous article I have seen in a long time. And aren't, like,
French people super nice? Like, what the fuck is wrong with these cops?
I don't know if they're super nice or not.
Go get a cappuccino. But we definitely don't want to trigger anybody
That's not the point of this. This is just for us to talk, get our opinions out there.
Well, not only that, like, remember I told you that I didn't know about Marley and Me, like, what was in the movie?
Oh, my God.
And I had miscarried 2 weeks prior to taking my kids to go see Marley and Me. And, oh, my God, like, I could not fucking breathe in that movie theater.
Let me tell y'all.
So it's not intentional, but it happens.
Let me tell y'all about Marley and Me. I've seen that movie one time. I had rented it on, like, DVD, watched it, and when freaking Marley died at the end, bitch, I was crying like it was one of my family members. I was like, I will never watch this movie again. I never cried like this during a movie. I don't know what it was.
Like, the very beginning is her losing her baby, and, like, the whole rest of the time, I'm like, crying, and, like, oh, my God.
I don't know what it is about that movie, but I was like, damn, I can't watch this shit again. And I won't.
You watch that movie when you need to cry, and you can't.
I won't. Nope.
No, you don't think?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I've never watched it again since then. I think it traumatized
I have another. Yeah, I'll watch another movie that makes me cry. It's not a lot of them. I don't know what it is. Like, movies can't really make me. Not a lot of them make me cry.
I like to watch romantic comedies when I need a good emotional day.
What's your favorite romantic comedy?
Oh my God, Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman.
I know every freaking word of that movie.
Pretty Woman.
I do, and I have like 2 copies of it too. It's my favorite movie. Now, I have others that I like to watch, like Under the Tuscan Sun. Love that movie. Stuff like that. But like Pretty Woman, all-time favorite. I want to do like a parody of it somehow.
Oh my gosh. You gonna do like that girl on Toddlers and Tiaras where she was dressed up as a hooker?
No, I don't want to do that part. I want to do the part where she like goes back to the store and she's like, mistake, big mistake. Like, that's how I feel in my life. Like, I feel like everybody thinks I'm like this horrible hooker and I'm really this amazing woman. But because of like how I dress or whatever,
Nobody
like,
thinks you're a hooker.
but you know what I mean? Like, that's how I identify with it, because people don't take me seriously and don't think I'm smart and
Right.
capable because I walk around with tank tops and messy hair and dirty, not good chucks, dirty chucks, nice and broken in, and hoodies, and like,
That's because you have to break those type of shoes in.
I don't want to get rid of them. I don't want to get rid of them
They
because
get so
they're
comfortable
so
after
comfortable.
you break them. Yeah, I was like, they're so
But
comfortable
seriously,
after you break 'em
people
in.
don't take me seriously and they don't think I'm smart and capable. But I don't like the judge the book by the cover bullshit. Or because I curse and because I have tattoos, I get, people, they think they're like I'm stupid.
Honestly, I don't know what people think about me. It's none of my business.
Do people not tell you? No, they don't ever tell me. They tell other people. And those
No,
people
I was
tell
like,
me.
nope, not really. Not really.
I'm a big time problem solver too. Like, I just help the apartment management company.
Only you. You told me.
Huh?
Only you told me.
What I thought about you?
Yeah.
That's because we were talking about how I was acting in our first mastermind.
Oh, when I first met Katrina, let's talk about how she was like, this
I'm a
brick
Tootsie
wall.
Pop. I'm a Tootsie Pop.
I was like, oh, this lady mean.
I'm a Tootsie Pop.
But now that I've gotten to know her, she's like,
I'm a big fucking softie on the
cotton
inside.
candy.
Oh my god, I am such a
honestly. But at
frickin-
first I was like, man, she's like just hardcore, just.
But when you have such a
Scowl.
soft center, you kind of have to protect it.
I have a super soft center, and I am totally not like I'm the total opposite. Total opposite. Like
On
I
the
have
inside,
a soft
we're
center
the
and a
same.
soft outside. I can't help it. Like I don't hate that part about myself, but sometimes I don't like it as much as that I'm so soft.
Do you have a favorite romantic comedy movie? You don't like rom-coms?
Maybe like P.S. I Love You or something.
I love that one too. Have you ever watched Love Actually?
Mm-mm.
I watch that one a couple times a year too. It's a really good movie.
I don't know. I don't do a lot of love shit. Love.
I love romantic comedies and cheesy teen
I like
movies.
horror movies.
Do you not like cheesy teen movies? I think we found something that we don't have in common.
No, not really.
Like, I will watch some High School Musical and some.
I like High School Musical.
What was the one I just watched?
I mean,
Like Amanda Bynes. I like her little movies when she was a teenager. I even watched Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen in the last couple months.
Yeah,
I
no,
love
that's one thing we
cheesy.
don't really that we really don't have in common. Because I'm like, no, not so much.
I even like
horror
Twilight.
movies. I love Twilight, and I ain't gonna lie about that. I love Twilight and the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games.
I
is
like
probably
Hunger
one of
Games
my
too. Divergent?
favorite.
No.
That one wasn't.
But
as
those aren't really
good.
cheesy teen movies, though.
I mean, it has teens in it.
I know, but those aren't.
They're
I mean,
not cheesy though.
Twilight's
Twilight
pretty
was.
fucking cheesy.
I was about to say Twilight was, but not the Hunger Games
No.
or Divergent. I don't know.
You like horror movies? Yeah, I won't watch horror.
I
The only scary movie I like is Saw, because you have to figure things
But
out.
that's more of a psychological.
Yeah,
story.
I like psychological thrillers because I like to. So the thing that my daughter Kyra hates about me quite a bit, like I want to say it's the thing she hates the most, is that I can always figure out a movie within the first 15 minutes because I have the best deductive reasoning skills. And like, if I'm mad at her or just want to irritate her, I'll be like, guess this is what's going to happen. And then when it happens, she's like, I fucking hate you.
Why would you ruin the movie for her like that?
Or sometimes, like, they'll ask me, and I'm like, just watch the freaking movie. But no, I do. When I'm so, like, let's say we're watching a movie and she won't stop talking. I'm like, I'm just going to ruin the movie for her. Or I like to know if I'm right, so I'll, like, make a prediction. I was like, I predict blah, blah, blah. And then when I'm right, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, we watched The Boy last night, actually.
What's that?
The Boy with the puppet So, okay, not
There's
a puppet.
boy with a puppet.
Okay, so
Is that a horror movie?
That was a terrible description of the movie. Okay,
Is that what the French police were trying to do? Puppet.
Oh,
It was an accident. We thought he was a puppet.
We're just playing our baton. No, okay, no. So okay,
y'all, this is my fucked up brain.
This is what happens in The Boy. Okay, so this lady is a nanny or whatever. She takes this nanny job, and it's like in the middle of nowhere in this big old mansion. And then the two old, like an older couple. They're old. So she goes in and she introduces herself and all this stuff, and then she's like, "Okay, well, where is he? Where's your son? So I can know how to take care of him and whatever. Meet him, introduce myself." So they lead her into this room where there's like literally this like puppet sitting, not puppet, but like doll, like boy
like the
doll.
creepy dolls.
It's like, let me show you a picture.
Is it like a Chucky?
No. I don't know how to explain it.
Is the doll alive like Chucky?
Okay, so it leads you to believe that the boy doll is alive, but that's not what it is.
So the parents are just crazy.
Like. No, the parents end up leaving the house.
So is it alive or no?
No. So what ends up happening, she thinks that it's alive.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, don't listen no more if you want to go watch The Boy. So what happens is she's like convinced this thing is alive, and then there's a guy that comes and drops off groceries at the house every day, and she like forges a friendship with him while the parents are gone. Parents end up committing suicide, like away. She doesn't know this at the time, so the parents aren't coming back. So anyway, she forges this friendship with this grocery guy. I can't remember his name. And so at one point she's like, "Brahms moves or whatever," and he's like, "Okay, I think you're sounding a little crazy right now," but then she like shows him. So she closes the door. She's like, "Brahms, do it," or whatever. She closes the door and she opens it, and Brahms is like moved somewhere else. And he's like, "What the fuck?" And so the whole thing is, this is like crazy. So the climax of the movie.
Is there a boy hiding somewhere and then moves the doll to fuck with people?
There is a man.
Yes! I told you!
The walls.
I told you, guys! Deductive reasoning.
There was a grown man hiding in the walls, but they didn't know that. So what happened was she took the nanny job in the middle of nowhere because she was getting away from this like violent relationship. Her ex-boyfriend ends up like seeing her, and then because she thinks it's alive, she's like doing all the things that his parents said to do for the doll. So she's like reading his stories and being like, oh, acting like it's a real person. And then her ex-boyfriend gets so pissed that he breaks the freaking doll, like the doll head, and all you see is the walls moving. And so it makes you think like this is like, oh my gosh, some spirit's about to come out. And then he pops out and they're like, what the fuck is that? And it's this grown ass man coming out of the walls, and he has this little kid voice that he uses. Oh my gosh. So me and Elle
people are fucking crazy.
We always quote our favorite part of the movie, because it was one time we went on a date to go see this movie, and he's like outside her room. This is before the climax or whatever, and the doll is sitting there with a plate and a sandwich, and it's like a peanut butter sandwich, and then like the list of things that she's supposed to do, and then like she opens it and she like closes the door, and he's like, "It's your favorite." And she's like, what the fuck? Like, that movie, I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, like, when you watch it, you're like, what the hell? And I think most of the people, when we were in the movie theater to watch it, they didn't know that either, because as soon as the dude, like, popped out the wall, everybody was like, what the hell?
This is why I have to watch movies by myself.
Yeah, they had a second one. I haven't gotten to see the second one. They had a second one come out, like, a year or two ago. I haven't seen it, but the first one, oh my gosh, that was, yeah.
You know what we should do is like start if we ever watch movies together, like I will write it down on a piece of paper, like 15 minutes into the movie, my prediction, and then like we'll put it away somewhere
and see
it. funny.
Yeah.
I
But yeah,
like
there was
solving
somebody
puzzles.
hiding in there.
That's funny. Yeah, but can we do more of the fun weirdos next time?
Oh yeah, we'll do the advice to ask Abby and ask Prudence.
I think we really should start our own email.
I do have an email on the website. If you go to nofactswithjen.com,
send us your request for advice.
Request for advice. But until people do that, we just gonna steal other whatever. Ones. Quote unquote.
Maybe y'all can give me some advice on how to get a man. Nobody wants me. I'm too smart, and I'm a pain in the ass.
That second part is right.
I have very minimal requirements. Like I don't like to do dishes. I just want somebody to make me a pot of coffee in the morning and like have sex with me. Are you gonna make me coffee and do my dishes?
Are you gonna make her coffee and do her dishes? She don't even care. She don't care.
Maybe
as long as you do that, she'll be happy.
Yeah.
At least know how to eat cake. At least know how to do that.
Toss some salad every now and again.
Know, something.
Fucking gross.
Like, to do something. We can't. She gotta be pleased in some way other than coffee and dishes. Sorry.
I like cupcakes.
I want more for you. I want more for you. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to No Facts with Jen, featuring Christina from I'm Motherfucking Awesome, yo.
Yes, I am.
And if you want to, you can go to her website too. She has some pretty good stuff on there, some videos, some good information. You want to plug your website?
So my website is www.immfingawesome. I didn't spell out fucking. It's just too much. I'm sure there's some way for us to link that somewhere. Yeah. I'm a big blog writer. I know that's not cool anymore, but I do have some good blogs on there. And I like to post fun stuff on my social media too, and you can get to it from there.
Yeah, and if you want to send your advice, go ahead. No Facts with Jen. There's going to be some merchandise on there if you want to look at that. If you want to listen to the podcast straight from the website, you can do that too. Or if you just want the show notes or references, that'll be on there as well. So that's it. I'll see you guys next week.
Deuces.